Good afternoon. Early this morning, the President of the General Assembly tweeted the following about today's explosion on the London Underground. He said, quote, "Train passengers shouldn't be targets. The UN stands united against terrorism." He also tweeted a condemnation of the terrorist attack in southern Iraq, which has led to more than 80 deaths. You can follow his tweets at UN_PGA. Regarding the high-level meeting on Hurricane Irma, which I announced yesterday, expected speakers include the Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, as well as the President of the General Assembly, the Secretary General, UNDP Administrator Achim Steiner, and Undersecretary General for Humanitarian Affairs, Mark Lowcock, and also Kristalina Georgieva of the World Bank. Again, the Hurricane Irma event will be held in the Trusteeship Council Chamber on Monday, September 18th, from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. We're still finalizing a media advisory with details on how to attend. We hope to be able to send that out later today. This morning, the President addressed the annual observance of the International Day of Peace in the Japanese Garden. Stressing his commitment to sustaining peace and preventing conflict, he said, quote, "Casting aside arms, even for one day, is a noble and valuable gesture, but it would be even better if those weapons had never been picked up in the first place." He added, "Peace cannot be measured in numbers of resolutions and high-level meetings. Peace is measured in the number of people who feel safe and secure, who are free to exercise their human rights, and who have hope for the future." The full statement is on our website, un.org/PGA. In terms of the President's meetings today, he's meeting this afternoon with UN Assistant Secretary General for Peacebuilding Support, Oscar Fernandez Taranco, to discuss peacebuilding matters. After that, he will have a meeting on Security Council reform with the Uniting for Consensus group. In that meeting will be representatives from Argentina, Canada, Colombia, Italy, Mexico, Pakistan, Republic of Korea, Spain, and Turkey. He will also meet with Sustainable Development Goals advocate Richard Curtis. And just now, as I was coming down, the General Assembly at its second plenary meeting approved its agenda for the 72nd session. The President chaired that meeting. There are 174 items on the agenda. And as part of today's meeting, the General Assembly plenary voted on whether to include in this session's agenda the item entitled "The Responsibility to Protect and the Prevention of Genocide, War Crimes, Ethnic Cleansing, and Crimes Against Humanity." By a vote of 113 in favor to 21 against, with 17 abstentions, the plenary decided to include the agenda item. That's all from me. Any questions? No questions? Yes.
Will the Hurricane Irma meeting be open to the media?
Yes, that's the intention. Yes, we would love for the media to attend. So in our media advisory, we'll try to specify exactly what needs to be done for you to get there. Yes.
So my name is Abdul Hamid Sayam from the Arabic daily Al-Quds Al-Arabi. So the nature-made disaster worth a high-level meeting, which is that rightfully so. But a human-made disaster doesn't worth a meeting like what's happening in Myanmar. Why the President of the General Assembly doesn't call for a high-level meeting to deal with the disaster or genocide or ethnic cleansing taking place in Myanmar?
Sure. Well, one thing that the President did say when he assumed his duties was that he didn't want to bring in a lot of other high-level meetings, precisely for the fact that the UN already has a very full agenda on its plate, and he didn't want to overburden smaller delegations. Now, you've definitely mentioned that there will be this meeting in conjunction with the Secretary General on Hurricane Irma, and that was simply because the President was very moved by the devastation that he was seeing, and the fact that after the hurricane passed, that there are still so many humanitarian needs that needed to be met. So that explains why this meeting was held. It doesn't preclude that other meetings would be held on other topics in the future. There is currently a very full agenda with high-level meetings, including on human trafficking and nuclear weapons that are going to be coming up within this month. But thank you for that comment.
But I'm sure he was moved also for what's happening in Myanmar, right?
Sure, and on Myanmar, he definitely has been monitoring the situation, and he definitely wants to see that the human tragedy that's happening there does not escalate at all. He has been in touch with the Secretary General about Myanmar, and he's following closely what the Security Council is doing as well. Yes, Matthew.
I don't know if you'll have an answer to it right now, but you seem, it's early days, pretty responsive. In the fourth committee, there's been a request made, I guess, now that in this new session by Morocco, that Western Sahara be removed from the agenda of the fourth committee, the decolonization committee. And it's not clear to me what the process is. It seems like most of the times that things have been removed, it's because they actually became independent. Is there some? Can you find? I guess I'm just wondering. Maybe this is within your remit. What the process is, or what the precedents are to remove an item from the decolonization committee without it becoming independent. And so it's more of I'm not necessarily asking you to get into the legalities right now, but I would appreciate some. Maybe within your office, there's
sure. Well, as I said earlier, the agenda for the General Assembly's 72nd session, which includes the fourth committee, that was adopted just moments ago as I was walking down. So, I mean, you should be able to see the list of the agenda items and what was allocated to the fourth committee. So I would check that before, and then if you still have questions, I'd be happy to follow up.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Would you have any readout of the meeting that the PGA has this afternoon on Security Council reform?
Sure. Well, the topic will definitely be Security Council reform. That's why he's meeting with Uniting for Consensus. If there's anything more that I can say after the meeting, I'll definitely let you know. Yes, Aziz.
Thank you, Brenden. Just to follow up on Matthew's question. My understanding is that the Moroccan ambassador asked for the Western Sahara issue to be removed from the fourth committee because it is being treated by the Security Council. And I guess that he said that it's against the UN Charter that the situation there be treated within the General Assembly and the Security Council. Do you confirm that?
I would have to check on that. I would urge you to check with the Moroccan ambassador about his comments, and I can follow up on my side.
Yeah, exactly.
No, my question is, do you confirm that the UN Charter says that if a situation is being treated by the UN Security Council, cannot be treated by the UN General Assembly?
Well, I would urge you to look at the Charter. I mean, the Security Council does have responsibility for maintaining international peace and security. That's very clear in the Charter. There have been ways in which the General Assembly has acted on these matters when the Security Council has been unable to act. And I would urge you to consult history and the UN Charter on that.
There's just on that, just finally, and maybe it's with your colleague Stefan here. There was a question of whether Mr. Kohler, the new personal representative on Western Sahara, will be around for the General Assembly week. So maybe either you or he can answer that.
Sure, that would be a question for the Secretariat. Yeah, Stefan could maybe follow up.
Wait, I don't understand your answer there.
About what the SG's personal envoy, about his whereabouts?
No.
Yeah.
about the General Assembly acting when the Security Council can act, but in this case, the Security Council is engaged with Western Sahara. So.
Sure. Let me look into I haven't been briefed on Western Sahara coming down today, so let me look into it.
Thank you.
Sure. Yes.
On another matter, do you have any numbers on the number of heads of states and heads of governments who will be attending the ANGA? Thank you.
Sure. The list keeps fluctuating, but the latest should be with the SG spokesperson's office. According to the latest list that I've seen, just going through the list and counting, I counted around 90 heads of state, but this is not a scientific method. I just counted through the list. But I would urge you to just take a look at the latest list that's in the spokesperson's office and do the count yourself. But in terms of heads of state and heads of government, we're definitely expecting over 100. Any other questions? Thank you very much.
We'll get Mr. Villalpando to brief you on the treaty section.